4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Ta-da! The offense. Offensive competitions to watch in camp. Well, this guy right here, right? The guy who packed on about, it's never, there's no way an HEL double hockey stick said it's 20 pounds muscle he put on. That ain't happening, right? Unless he was on roids, right? In 3-4 months, that's not happening. He put on a few pounds, sure, absolutely, but it's not all muscle. But apparently, he didn't lose any of his speed, which is huge. So I got here, right? The offensive competitions to watch. Now, this is from Matt Citak, he was talking about. Let's start with offensive competitions in the starting lineup, where there seems to be just one position in question. Giants are returning most of their offensive starters from the start of last season, with their biggest change, of course, coming at quarterback. All 5 Week 1 starters along the offensive line are returning, but could there be a competition for the starting right guard spot? Yes, we don't know the right guard and the right tackle. That we don't know. Greg Van Roten re-signed with the team after being the only player to be on the field for every offensive snap last season, and the veteran likely has the early advantage for the spot after putting together a solid campaign. But following his transition from tackle to guard, Evan Neal will be given an opportunity to battle for that starting spot. That's going to be a nice fight for the guard spot. With no contact allowed during the spring, training camp will be the first real chance for both guys to show what they can do. We're all competing, Van Roten told the media during OTAs. Nothing is set in stone. This is May, so you've got to earn it every day. And that's a reason I think that I've been able to stick around the league for 14 years, because I don't think that I've earned anything, or anything should be just handed to me. I'm sure Evan feels the same way. I'm sure Jake Kubas, who we're going to be talking about a little bit, feels the same way. There's a lot of guys in our room, and the reality of the situation, we will have 9 or 10 at the end of training camp, so you just want to be in that 9 or 10. Yeah, 9 or 10 on the 53. 10, that's a lot. I could certainly see at least 8, if not 9, make the 53. 10, that's a lot of offensive linemen to make the 53. It's a lot. I mean, 10 maybe, obviously, if you're talking maybe the practice squad. But when it comes to depth at certain positions, there are a few more competitions to keep an eye on. For starters, how will the quarterback competition play out? Russell Wilson will begin the season as a starter, but there should be good competition this summer between him, Jameson Winston, Jackson Dart, and Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan. Giants are not going to rush Dart on the field, but the rookie should get plenty of opportunities to prove himself throughout training camp. The first 4 wide receiver spots are likely locked in place with Malik Neighbors, Wando Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Jalen Hyatt. But which guys will round out the bottom of the depth chart? The same goes for tight end, where there could be several spots up for grab behind Theo Johnson, and the offensive line, where the last couple of roster spots will be earned throughout the summer. Yeah, now, if we look, right, I guess we go to the defensive side here. I mean, there is a ton of guys who could possibly play guard. Zudu, right? Because you pretty much figure John Runyon Jr., for all intents and purposes, is going to be the left guard, right? But you got Aaron Stinney, you got Joshua Zudu, Greg Van Roten, Evan Neal, Jake Kubas, Marcus Bowe could be a guard for all we know, right? So there's a lot of guys. Now you figure that's going to be interesting to see also who's taking snaps where, right? Who's taking snaps for Andrew Thomas at left tackle while he's not on the field? He's trying to get back, but he's not didn't make any promises. I did a video on this because obviously somebody did an article on it, so I did a video on it last time about Andrew Thomas. I can't promise. Week 1 is the goal. That's the goal. He's not making any fancy promises or not like that. Hopefully, there's a good chance he'll be back by then. But if he is back by then, let's hope that he can actually stay healthy for a length of time. That would be so nice. But who's taking his place, right, in training camp? Who's taking his place in the preseason games? Right. So, but it's also a good thing because you got your star player who is your starting left tackle. You pencil the dude in, right? But it gives a lot of extra snaps to a lot of other players. It's very, very good. So who's going to be taking his snaps, his spot, a left tackle? Right. What are we doing with Bo? Is he going to be the tackle? Is he going to be pretty much out there? And who's starting at the right tackle? Right, because let's not forget last season, right, when Thomas got injured, we took Luminor from the right tackle and put him on the left tackle. Is Luminor going to go and take Thomas's spot during the training camp? That's the case. Who's going to be the right tackle? Is it going to be Bo? Right? And I said, and that battle for the right guard is going to be very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. And then of course, are we keeping 4 tight ends? Possibly. We got Manhurts, right, for his blocking ability. He'll catch a few passes, but ain't gonna be many. But he's the if we need some beef in there, right? He's the man. Hurts, right? As far as the blocking. We're not putting Fedoni on the practice squad. I really don't see that happening. Theo Johnson, he's not going on the practice squad. So, is Bellinger? We're gonna have 4 guys, and they got Dulcich. Who's the other guy? I keep forgetting. Tight end. Dulcich. Jermaine Terry. I keep forgetting him. So we got Fedoni, Dulcich, Manhurts, Bellinger, Theo Johnson, and Jermaine Terry. So if are we going to keep 4 tight ends? Because we're not putting Theo Johnson on the practice squad. We're not putting Fedoni on the practice squad. If we want a blocking tight end, well, we got Manhurts. So it'll be interesting. Very, very interesting. The other one will be a running back, right? We got Tyrone Tracy Jr., right? As of right now, we got Kyle Scatterboo, right? Is he going to be the number 2 back? What about Motor Singletary? If we were to let Motor Singletary go, we would save ourselves some money. Of course, Motor Singletary is the veteran presence, right? Is Eric Gray? We're going to find a spot for him? I don't know. The problem is because if he winds up becoming like running back, like say number 4, and he's not super duper special on special teams, right? Because he fumbles the ball a lot. And if that's the case, right? Because last year Turbo, it'd be nice if we could find something for him to do. Because with his speed, I haven't seen, I haven't been there training the OTAs or nothing like that. But what they say is, his speed is, he's fast. So it'd be a shame. It'd be nice if we could find something for him. But the thing is that, I don't see us keeping 4 running backs on the active roster. I could see Tracy, and maybe Motor Singletary. Unless we let Motor Singletary go to save some money, then you maybe keep Eric Gray. So that's going to be something. Of course, we know for the most part, Russell Wilson. Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't be bummed out with that. I mean, they drafted Gray, but you know, hasn't been nothing super spectacular. You know, I mean, I haven't seen Turbo, right? But they like if you listen to Big Blue Kickoff Live and stuff, those guys there, like John Schmelk, Matt Citak, Paul Dottino, those guys see him, every day. They see that, they say he's fast. He's so fast, he makes fast guys look slow. He's fast. So be nice if they could find someplace, or, if they're going to keep let Eric Gray go and put Turbo back on the practice squad, whatever. But I would love to see Turbo on the field. Of course, then you got, Wilson, right? Dart, Jameson Winston. What about Chicken Cutlet Parmesan? We're not keeping 4 quarterbacks. He's going to go on the practice squad. It's a good chance if he goes on the practice squad, somebody might come in there and scoop him up, because he has starting experience, and he's won. He's won for a crappy football team. He's won football games for a crappy football team. So there's a chance that he might get scooped up by another team. Let's see here. Of course, and then, so I have to, the offensive line, we're not sure. A couple, like the right guard. The biggest thing is we know we got Malik, we got Wandale, we got Darius, and we got Jalen Hyatt. Now, the other thing is, we're going to keep maybe 7 wide receivers, right, on the 53, 6 or 7. So we got those 4. Is Amir Smith-Marset going to be number 5 because of his returnability, right? So if that would be 5, who might be the other 2. Now we got 5 undrafted free agents, rookie free agents on this team that we got here. Yeah. I mean, you keep hearing some nice things, but once again, OTAs and all that is a little different animal than training camp. And of course, the regular season games are a different animal than training camp, right? But because in OTAs and the mini camps, all that, you can't even touch a guy, right? So, but we got a lot of guys, right? We got Daquan Felton, Juice Wells, right? He got Juice and Jackson, got that combination going on, right, from Ole Miss. Jordan Bly, Bo Collins, and Dalen Cambry, right? So we got 5 undrafted rookie free agents on this roster. Let's not forget about Bryce Ford Wheaton. Now, they thought so much of him a couple of years ago, they actually gave him a signing bonus, right? Neal can be a good guy. I hope so too, man. That'll be fantastic. He was according to PFF, that's all I'm going by, he was our highest graded run blocking offensive lineman last year. He graded out like an 80. His pass blocking, once again, was a little something to be desired, but his run blocking was really good. So, he's like 6'7", 330, 340, whatever. He's a mauler. He can move some people, right? So he did well in the run blocking last year. Can he be a good, if he doesn't have to worry about these edge rushers running around them, or if he can just be more, got the more like in a phone booth where he doesn't have to worry about dancing around. Of course there'll be stunts and twists and all that stuff, but you don't have to, move quite as much when you're a guard, as you do if you're a tackle. So, man, if he could, that'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Then the number 7 overall pick in the 2022 draft won't look quite as bad, right? But I mean that would be fantastic. That'd be great because he's young, right? If he can be a good guard, I'm all for it. Sign me up for it. Right? Sign me up for it. I love it. But then so who's going to be the other wide receivers? So the thing is that we brought back, a lot of the guys from last year, I've seen this written, and I've said it too. It's one thing. It's just sometimes a little odd, because as bad as the offense has been, or especially as bad as the offense been the past couple of seasons, and as bad as the offense was last season, a lot of times what happens when the team stinks, offensive wise, whatever, what do? You make changes. Well, we sucked last year, so let's make some changes. Well, we didn't really. Hey, the two running backs, right? Motor Singletary, right? As of right now, and Tyrone Tracy, we drafted Cam, right? But we brought the top two running backs back. We brought back the top three tight ends from last year. Bellinger, Theo Johnson, and Manhurts. They're all back, right? The same offensive line. All those guys are back. Now, they may not wind up all starting. Neal might be the starting right guard or something like that. We don't know. Bo might go in there. Who knows, right? But we brought back the same starters, right? We brought back Thomas, Runyon Jr., John Michael Schmitz, GVR, and Illuminor. They're all back, right? We brought back all the wide receivers, the top four wide receivers, right? We brought back Slayton, brought back Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, and Jalen Hyatt. Got maybe Amir Smith, Marset. Yeah, so we brought back a lot of the same guys. Even Tommy Chicken, Cutler Parmesan. We brought back, he may not want to make the team, but, But other than that, Wilson, Winston, and Dart, that we made, some wholesale changes at quarterback. But a lot of the same guys we brought back on the offensive side. So there's a couple of spots up for grab. One of the things it'd be interesting as the season goes along, right? One of the questions is what I hear. You read and all that stuff is, so much is not like if Dart's going to get a chance, it's when. When will he get a chance this year? So that's going to be something else to look forward to. But starting tomorrow, right? Or actually, I'm sorry, starting today, right? It's Tuesday morning. Training camp is in session. The rookies will be in the house, right?